This is the new patch for the first season of the game. And we got a lot of changes. We got a whole lot of changes. Let's talk about it. Number 1, everything is worse. Number 2, everything is harder. Number 3, everything you were doing, now you have to work harder to do it again. Number 4, leveling slower. Number 5, hell tides worse. Damage reduction reduced. Vulnerability gutted. Good decision, by the way. I agree with the vulnerability decision. I think it's smart. All of the stats being basically like it was too much better. It was way better than everything else. It was like just bad. I don't think it was a good way to be designed. However, everything else is kind of sucks. Now, obviously, there have been like some really big problems in the game, like resistance is not working, people running out of storage space, necromancers not having a viable minion build, you know, characters not being fun to play at the early game. Rest assured, none of those things are fixed. That's right. None of that's fixed. So let's go ahead and see what they did. All right. And we're going to scroll down. We're going to be skipping a lot of the other stuff, but we'll just go ahead and take a look at this. This is the new unique item. This is the one that never drops. It gives you a random shrine effect for 10 to 20 seconds after killing an elite enemy. It can only occur once every 30 seconds. Thank you so much, Blizzard, for adding this. This is very useful for the one Korean that's going to get it in the next 3 years. Thank you so much. This is going to be super fun to see the picture of it on Wowhead. Thank you so much, and on Maxroll. Really appreciate that. Also, Barbarian, lucky hit, core skills, 20% chance to freeze your enemies and to deal cold damage to them. To be honest with you, this is kind of good. I mean, I would say this is a kind of good sword. I would use this sword if I was pushing Nightmare Keys because it CCs mobs. It's not amazing, guys. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. A good sword for Frenzy. It's good for Whirlwind because you hit them a lot more with Whirlwind. Mage Barb, yeah. Lucky hit is trash. Lucky hit scales kind of well, but we'll see what's going to happen. So, yeah, and also if the other stats on the sword are bad, it would still be bad. So I think this weapon is okay. Let's look at the Druid one. Flesh Render, Debilitating Roar, and Blood Howl deal 0.5 to 1 damage to nearby poisoned enemies. Well, they're about 16 damage too low for the Druid average, so not really a great item there. But we're going to go ahead and move on. And this is Necromancer. Now, I want to talk about Necromancer. Obviously, big problem that Necromancer has had is the fact that Necromancer is obviously clearly a Necromancer. They raised the dead. And so is there going to be a way for one of these new uniques? This is what a lot of people were expecting, that the new unique was going to make minion builds more viable. No, it's not. So let's read it. Lucky hit. While you have an active Bone Storm, hitting an enemy outside of a Bone Storm has a 5 to 25% chance to spawn an additional Bone Storm at their location. Each of your active sacrifice bonuses increases this chance by 25%. So they actually incentivized even further for you to not use minions. That's right. And the total number of additional Bone Storms you can have is +1. So you can Bone Storm while you're Bone Storming and you have an extra Bone Storm. That's exactly what we needed. Thank you so much. So they need to rename Necromancer to Archer because that's basically what it is. Rogue, Eagle Horn, unique bow. Penetrating shot has a 30 to 80% chance to fire an arrow that bounces off walls of the scenery. Hitting enemies from behind with penetrating shot will make them vulnerable for 3 seconds. I think this sounds cool. Is this good? Like, I don't play Rogue. It sounds cool though. Yeah, I really don't know. Hanzo? Yeah, kind of like Hanzo or something like that. Yeah, it probably looks cool to have happen, which is, I think that's important. Oculus, apparently, I've been seeing memes about this, this item. Let's see here. I think there was a video. So somebody actually showed a video about how the new Sorcerer unique works, because a lot of people are wondering how it works. I wanted to go ahead and show it. Gain the effect of a teleport enchantment for free. When you evade using teleport enchantment, you are taken to a random location. Okay, here we go.
Greetings.
So he just used it.
Hello.
And it looks like he is in Baldur's Gate 3. Alright. Well, pretty interesting, and, you know, kind of a unique thing. A lot of games don't have that, and now Blizzard does, so very, very cool. And let's see here. Azurath and Fleshrender uniques have flat damage effects which scale with power. Azurath deals between 3,000 and 6,000 damage. Well, that's fucking garbage. Okay. So let's see here. 5 close enemies, stun them for 2 to 5 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 20 seconds. Okay, that's so that's like that's interesting. I mean, I kind of don't like this, but okay. Craven mobility aspect. You gain movement speed whenever you're moving away from slowed or chilled enemies. This is just fucking stupid. I'm not really a fan of this. I guess maybe it's okay because it can keep you, like for Whirlwind, maybe it's all right. But I feel like there are, like, am I crazy that, like, where was the Actman video where he was talking about dealing damage on a Tuesday? Because he said something like, you can only, this increases your damage while you're playing a barbarian, while they're distant from you, while they're vulnerable, only on a Tuesday, only on a morning, and only if you're playing on a Mac. It's like, what the fuck is this? How many conditionals do we need? It's insane. What is this? There's too many variables. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And it's lucky hit. I don't mind lucky hit. I don't. I really don't think it's a big deal. I think because you can scale lucky hit and you can get a lot more stats for it. It's not that bad. But, you know, we'll see what happens. You will after the patch. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't mind. I didn't mind it before. Maybe I will mind it now. Barbarian, Ancestral Charge. Charge calls forth 4 Ancients who also charge, dealing 50 to 100% of normal damage. So that's very good because there's going to be, I think there's 4 Barbarians. Well, there's 4 Barbarians that are still playing the game, and one of them is playing Charge. And so it's going to be nice for that guy to be able to have a buff to the ability. Very cool. Let's go to Druid. We'll take a look at that. Subterranean. Poison Creeper also casts Landslide in a circle around you. Earth skills deal... I feel like this is very good. I feel like this is very good. Is it garbage? Like, I really... It's good? Yeah, because I've obviously, like, I played a little bit of Druid, but, like, I'm just looking at it. It's good? Okay, cool. Necromancer. So this is the opportunity that Blizzard has to make Necromancer minion builds more viable. Let's see what they decided to do. Gore Quills. Blood Lance will consume blood orbs to conjure lances from them. Each additional blood lance deals 20 to 50% of normal damage and prioritizes targeting unlanced. So this just makes blood lance better for like single target, basically. I mean, I think. I'm not really sure. For AoE. Okay. Alright, got it. Pestilent points. Every third cast of Puncture is poison imbued with 100 to 50% normal potency. That's nice. Sorcerer. After spending 200 to 100 mana, your next firewall is free to cast and will destroy small incoming missiles. Oh, okay. I don't... Would anybody use that? I feel like there's at least, like, nobody that would use that, right? Yeah, okay, I thought so. Accessibility, primary screen reader, failed to read specific elements. Okay, these are all fixed issues, right? So, let's see here. Silence is hellish. So, for level 100 Pinnacle Boss solo, that's great. Cooperative play. All of these have been fixed. They also fixed the issue with, what do you call it? Like, whenever I would whirlwind and go into a suppressor mob, they fixed that, which was kind of nice. Another thing is that they made a lot of the ranged mobs run away from you less as a melee player. That was nice. So, let's see here. Barbarian fixed an issue where a number of enemies to defeat for Barbarian class. Masters of Battle is not displayed. Okay, there we go. Oh, fixed an issue where the outer edge of quakes granted to Hammer of the Ancients via aspect of Astral Echoes was doing far more damage than intended. And what they mean by far more damage, so So before, where you were doing 15 million, okay, that number now goes down to 3 million. So this is a bug. They fixed the glitch, and now barbarians are finally balanced. Thank you, Blizzard. Great. It's also actually divided by 10. Oh, it's worse? Oh, never mind. I got the math wrong. The number's even lower. Okay. Druid, who gives a fuck? Necromancer, these are all bugs, right? Fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue. Right, so these are mainly bug fixes. Players could unnaturally teleport. Okay, yeah, this is all nice. Okay, great. Fix an issue where chests could spawn to provide infinite loot. Yeah, I saw that. Items and aspects. Fixed an issue. This is a Blizzard W here. The level requirement for sacred items caps at 60, and the level requirement for ancestral items caps at level 80. So, like, theoretically, if you look at this item here, it requires level 100. This will no longer be the case. And now all of the items only require level 80, as you can see on my screen here. This is a good change. This is a Blizzard W. I'm very glad about this. It is an improvement to the game. So yes, obviously there are not only negatives, there are some positives. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of it, though. Wait, so you see changes in Helltides as well as stats? Well, let's see how Helltides are. We have Helltide up right now. Let's see how it is. Let's do it. Again, very smart to put your character on the loading screen. Gets you to spend more money. I think that I've decided what I'm going to play for Season 1. I'm going to play a Necromancer with a minion build. I'm going to play Necromancer minions. And if it's bad, I'm just going to quit the game. There it is. Problem solved. Okay. And let's kill all these guys. A lot of mobs here. Okay, so I got 9 items. Very cool. Okay, I got 1. Not so cool. I got 1 out of that. Okay. And I got 1. Okay. Mystery chests apparently now cost 250. Oh, I got 1. Nice, I got 1. No, I got 2 out of that. Okay, that's pretty good. They now cost 250. Okay, that's a lot. Wow. Okay, oh, we've got a boss over here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, it's a boss. I'm gonna get a lot out of this. This is gonna be crazy. Look at my damage. My damage is just nuts. So my damage, by the way, with my whirlwind, I used to do about double this. Like, so effectively my damage got cut in half. So like, I'll give you just an idea of like how this would work, right? So like I started at like, let's say like 500k, and now I'm at 250k. Because it's half. As you can see, damage is pretty awesome. You know, we got a little bit of 250 there, got another proc, wow. It's almost 300k. Really crazy damage here. I'm just going out of this world. Okay, here we go. We got a Wrath of the Berserker up. Really, really crazy damage here. Huge damage. By the way, this damage is about how much as a Necromancer does with one Bone Spear. But it's okay. You know, luckily they nerfed Hammer of the Ancients again. So I won't be able to play anything else.
I must wait.
So in about like 45 minutes or so, we will kill this boss. And at that time, we'll get some pretty cool loot out of it.
I must wait.
Probably get something really, really good here. So, okay, let's see. So I got 10. Wait, I only got 10 out of that? That's it? 8? Wait, how many did I get out of that? 0? I thought so. Okay, what about this one? Oh, I got one. Okay. All right, good. All right, now we're building up momentum, guys. Let's go. Okay, 2. Okay, no, never mind. That's just 1 again. Okay, I got 1. Man. Ooh, a treasure goblin. What am I gonna get? Oh, bro, I'm gonna get something big. I got 2 sacred items. Or sorry, 1 sacred item. And 3 aberrant cinders. And is it good? No, it's actually bad. It's not a good item. Okay, well, that's about all I can do. Yeah. That's about it. We're done. People complaining about preseason 1 patch nerfs, and one's complaining about seasons in beta. They aren't balanced. They're balanced it for season 1 endgame, where we'll have massive power from the legendary gems. That being said, the Helltide nerf is dog shit. I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right. But like, how do we know that? Yeah, how do we know that? I'm not even sure. Cinder's gonna be fixed in the first hotfix. It's already been addressed. Okay, great. That's good. Let's see here. Items of higher power was dropping from rare monsters. Yeah, I know they changed that. Okay, let's see here. Quests and events. This is whatever. Miscellaneous. Gameplay updates. This is all, again, fixed issues. Not really too big of a deal. Well, now let's talk about the real... These are the gameplay updates. These are the important things. So Altar of Lilith unlocks are account-wide, Mount Discovery account-wide, Whispers will no longer reward Sigil Dust, overall loot quality has been significantly improved for Silent Chests. This is a pretty big one here, very important. The channel time for the Leave Dungeon ability has been increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. So now it's going to take longer to teleport out of the dungeon. Now, the reason for that... I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next, we've generally reduced the tendency for monsters to move around in combat. Yeah, I think that's great. DualSense Edge wireless controller support. Renown value adjustments. Side quest Renown is now going from 20 to 30. Dungeons are 30 to 40. So now you get Renown faster. That's great, but it still doesn't solve the problem that Renown isn't fun to farm. Let's see here, and you should never have to do it more than once because the content is garbage. But anyway, this is at least an improvement, so you don't have to do it as much. It is not a small W, it is just a lowercase l, making a unnecessary, annoying, tedious grind slightly less of a waste of time. This does not make me happy. So World Tier 2 has been increased. Bonus gold went from 15% to 20%. Big increase there. Monsters now drop 15% more items. That's something they should have done this on release. I don't know why they didn't do this. Level scaling inside dungeons, most overworld territories has been adjusted. So level scaling, basically the levels trail behind you in most areas rather than ahead of you or equal to you. I guess this makes level scaling not as oppressive and people feel like they're making more progress. I think this is a positive change. I like this change. This is a good change. World Tier 3 example, somebody's 55, monster level's 55, 55 to 60, it's 55. Yeah, I think this is fine. Experience nerf, yeah, we're going to talk about the experience nerf. We're going to look at that and see kind of what's going on with this. So, won't you level slower though? Well, yes, but in like a huge way. And also, if you want to level, like, you want to do nightmare dungeons. Like, nightmare dungeons are the best way to level, so it doesn't really matter how well you level in the other areas. I think it's not that big of a deal. But yeah. Let's see here. Players level 76 to 80, the monster level 75, 81, 76. Okay, so it's a -5, basically. Let's see here. Reward experience for completing Whispers in World Tiers 3 and 4 have been significantly increased. Obviously, that's a good idea. We've observed that the experience bonus rewarded from killing higher level monsters escalates too fast when compared to the relative challenge involved. We still want to reward players on taking on this challenge by encouraging them to participate in power leveling together instead of one player killing enemies while the other members waits at the dungeon's entrance. We are adjusting bonus experience rewards for killing monsters that are a higher level than the player. So right now, it is 15%, 20%, and 25%. So they've changed it from 15%. What they did, let me go ahead and just show you guys in case anybody doesn't understand. So they had 15, and then this would be the dot. And so what they did is they put the dot right here, and so now it's going to be 1.5. So as you can see here, there has been a nerf by a pretty substantial degree. If you look right here, it says +1 level is now 1.5%. And so there we go. +2 levels is 3%. It used to be 20%, now it's 3%. And then also 10 levels is now only 15%. So even at the highest level of grinding nightmare dungeons, you are still getting a 10% reduction in experience. So yeah. And just for comparison, what level were the mobs in that nightmare dungeon I did? I don't remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember like what that is. 111. Okay, so basically no, 95 to 111. Okay, so basically you have to run tier 56 plus nightmare dungeons in order to maximize your experience. Yeah, that's where we're at. 46 is level 100. Yeah, so you have to run 56 or higher to maximize experience. And no. Oh, am I misunderstanding? Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter because what am I thinking? At level 100, of course. What am I? I'm so dumb. Okay, yeah. Like, of course. Why would I level? What am I trying to get to 101? Yeah, you guys are right. Basically, you have to be at least 10 levels higher. Okay, that's all it is. Casuals never get max level. Well, if they ever were going to, now they won't. So obviously these experience nerfs have been massive. Current level, we're also adjusting experience rewards for monster level offsets to higher world tiers. So basically this is to stop people from power leveling. The reason for that is because having to level up a second character is very great content, and it's super exciting and engaging. It makes just makes the game more fun. So Blizzard decided to make it a lot harder to power level a character. So that's been solved, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore. And so there we go. And let's see here. They should sell boosts. Yeah, they probably should sell boosts on the store for this. We're looking to increase the danger of Helltide's risk-reward gameplay by making monsters a bit more challenging and the tortured gift of mysteries harder to open. Well, they did make it harder to open because now it takes 250 cinders instead of 175. And now the monsters are 3 levels higher. And also, there's apparently, it's not intended, but right now we're seeing Helltide monsters dropping a lot less cinders. I think this is something that will be changed, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out and see what happens. Next, let's see here. They'll have boosts from Battle Pass. They do, but this is the free Battle Pass. There are no paid boosts. So Barbarian, let's see here. Hamstring got nerfed. This is probably a good change, by the way. I know obviously people might get upset about this. Hamstring, putting 1 point in it to just activate a conditional like 100% of the time, like I thought it was just bad design. So I'm glad they changed it. I just think it should be balanced in a different way. And Wrath Glyphs now affects all damage instead of just core skills. This is better, I guess. And a few other changes. I'm not going to go through a lot of the changes because they're just like small percentage, you know, like readjustments. But you can pretty much expect what it's going to be. Increase to slow, yeah. Irrelevant Whirlwind Barb uses shouts and Whirlwind, yeah, exactly. And Gore's Grips now explodes every 2 seconds or after it ends. And its hit cap has been removed. So this makes Gore's probably just as garbage as it already was. I don't really think that's going to make it any better, because every 2 seconds it's not going to be able to store enough attacks to really do any damage. It was very good, and now it's not, and it's still not. Fields of Crimson, bleeding bonus increased from 10% to 15%. This will increase the amount of people using it. I think it will multiply it by about 100 times. So if you take 0% of people that are using it now, and you multiply it by 100 times, you still have 0 people using it. So anyway, we've got, what's this here? This is Druid. They've changed Druids to do different things. I'm not going to look at every single little change. Necromancer. Some of the Necromancer minion abilities have been improved slightly. We're seeing Skeleton Warrior Defenders, you know, having a little bit of a buff. The Skeletal Priest damage bonus is 20 to 30%. So minions have been buffed slightly. Slightly. Not a lot, but a little bit. And Skeletal Priest healing from 10% to 15%. This should be an automatic heal and not a heal over time. And it should also stack if you do multiple sacrifices. Blizzard will, of course, do none of this. But that would be nice if they did. Golem moves through enemies. Yep, there we go. And so Paragon levels, Essence Glyph, all damage and core skills. Probably a good idea. Let's see here. Nothing else really too exciting. You guys can see pretty much the rest of it. Skeleton damage bonus increased from 20 to 30% to 30 to 40%. Again, a little bit of a bonus in minion damage. I think that at this point, guys, I guess I'll probably make a video. Like, maybe I'll record a video like off stream and talk about my plans for Season 1. But I'm thinking right now we're just going to play a Necromancer minion build. And next thing, we have, obviously, this is, what's it called? Is this Sorcerer? Where is it? Oh, no, this is Rogue. Rogue, yeah, I got confused for a second there. Rogue, again, I don't really play Rogue. I don't really know a lot about Rogue. Don't really care, to be honest. Sorcerer, this is obviously a lot of words. They made it worse. And so, let's see here. Aspects, so these are the aspects of classes. We're going to look at those. Aspect of disobedience. I actually think that this is probably a good decision for them to make. So like the problem, I think that... So I'm going to talk a little bit about, like, I probably should not talk about this right now, but I think this is the big problem that Blizzard made with these patch notes, is that they released them without showing people, like, a lot of the advantages and bonuses we're going to get through the Malignant Hearts. Because I'm sure that a lot of these things that are being changed will probably be offset to a degree by the Malignant Heart damage. But the problem is that whenever you don't show people that, they're out now? Okay, they've released them. Maxroll has a list out? Okay. They released all the new gems. It's on a different page. Okay. I guess we'll have to look at that after this. Yeah, I thought they hadn't yet. But I do think the hearts will make up for some of these nerfs. That's still the point. Yes, they're compensating for hearts. Yeah, I mean, the point is still the same, right? Is I think that the nerfs will, like... and I'm not saying the nerfs are good. By the way, I'm not saying the nerfs are good. All I'm saying is that I think that that's part of it. Let's see here. And Exploiter's aspect, unstoppable, reduced, you know, just a number of... basically, like, everything has been reduced. Everything that's good for you has been reduced, and everything that's bad for you has been increased. So like an example here, monster scaling has been increased, okay? Damage that you do has been decreased. Made mistake, the gym should have been here, you're right. Yeah, I just think that, you know, having it on 2 separate pages, it's a communication error. For sure, let's see here, scaling of Greed Shrine to reduce its effectiveness, improve its effectiveness throughout the game. That's true, it should scale off of the monster level and how much gold it drops. There's no longer a limit on how many materials you can refine. This is good. World bosses drop potions. It doesn't matter, they're dead in 1 second anyway. Many affixes are too efficient and outshining alternatives. So, basically they're adding in more effects. So like barrier generation can appear for all classes. Thank you so much, Blizzard. As a barbarian, barrier generation is exactly what I was looking for. I needed that. Yes, thank you. That's awesome. And let's see here, mastery skill damage can now appear on shields. Why would you add resistance to all elements? Didn't Blizzard say resistance is bugged? Why would you put a new stat in the game if you know it's bugged? I don't even understand. Why would you do that? Like why wouldn't you just wait for Season 2 to add that stat? Like, I don't get it. Like, why would you... Like, why? I don't... The fuck? They're just putting things into the pool of potential upgrades, so it's harder to re-roll, right? So, like, for example, where is it? So, if you are inside of a box, and each of these things... So, what's your chance to get each one of these things? If you can get one thing randomly inside the box. 33%, right? A third? Okay, how about now? Assuming they're all the same size and they all have the same probability. 25%. That's crazy. How about now? 20%. Thank you, Blizzard, for making it harder to reroll our stats. Very appreciated. Great. Awesome. Super cool. So yeah, now it's going to be harder to reroll our stats, and they have been also, by the way, this one, resistance to all elements. Let me go ahead and just do a visual indicator for that. This one is poop. It's poop. And so if you get that one, you just lose. And so, yep, there we go. Let's see here. Strength 50% stronger when on weapons. The core stat bonuses on weapons were overperforming. This is the way, I feel like this is how Blizzard cooldown reduction FXs often felt mandatory due to their raw power. I really dislike this. And I want to talk about why I dislike the cooldown reduction. The reason why I dislike it, a lot of people use them because they are very powerful, but on top of being more powerful, they're more fun. Because I don't like sitting around waiting for my shouts to come back up so I can engage in combat and not be CC'd by 7 different things. So I don't understand this. And by the way, they're still mandatory. We're still going to be using cooldown reduction, at least as a barbarian, on the necklace and the helmet, because it's still the best stat. So if they're trying to make it not mandatory, maybe not the necklace, because there's a lot of really good things that can roll on neck, but helmet for sure. It seems like they're actively trying to kill the game. It slows down gameplay. Well, it slows down gameplay in a bad way. And do you remember whenever they changed barbarian shouts to where, like this is the beginning of the game, whenever they changed barbarian shouts to where you weren't able to use them all the time? The problem is that it's fun to be able to use your abilities. I think that the game needs to be balanced, but this is the way that I think Blizzard does a lot of, they do a lot of adjustments in the game. Is they see that, wow, 85% of players are using this stat. That means this stat must be overpowered. We have to nerf this stat. And what they do is they analyze a spreadsheet from a perspective that is not intrinsic to why the player enjoys the stat. Why is the player stacking the stat? So like they just look at a spreadsheet, but they don't look at why the numbers are on the spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like basically a lot of these changes could have been made by a person who didn't actually play Diablo. Because if you played Diablo, you would know that resistance is garbage. You would know that the reason why people go for, you know, a lot of these stats is because they, like cooldown reduction is because it's more fun. Yo, what up, McConnell? And they're hoping they add more in a Paragon board. You're saying MBAs are balancing the game? Bro, I'm saying that it doesn't take an MBA to make this. Like, I think that a high school kid could have, you know, just look at a chart and everything that's above 90%, like, nerf it. Okay. Pretty easy, right? Do you think Asmon will play WoW with me? Soon. I mean, like, this is making it a lot sooner. I was expecting to play the Diablo 4 season for, like, 2 weeks, man. I'm feeling like right now it's going to be 1 week. I'm going to be honest. Not looking good. Ooh, not looking good. We're going to do a raid, McConnell, with, like, all evokers. And just have, like, have a DK carry us. And just get all the gear. Like, I planned it out. Like, yeah, just do I want to do in dungeon? Yeah, do that too. Yeah, I want to get stacked, get, like, I don't think I can get Gladiator anymore. It's just, it takes too much work. And I have, like, too many other, like, obligations. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. And also, like, nobody gets Gladiator. Nobody even plays the game. It's, like, weird. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, fuck. CDR is nerfed. They nerfed it? Oh, okay. So, nah, fuck. CDR got massively nerfed. And again, is it fun being able to hit your spells? Because I think it's fun being able to hit my spell. You guys think so? Yeah, me too. And we're seeing critical strike damage and vulnerable damage often be required as a hard requirement for build success in Diablo 4. I am going to give a super hot take here. I support these changes. I support the... I support I support this change. I think this is a necessary and needed change. Vulnerability was too much of a pass-fail in the game, and every single build that I see was scaling off of vulnerability. Almost everything was. Like, where 90% of the game, 90% of the builds scaled off of vulnerability, and I think that they didn't really... Like, I don't like vulnerability, but I just have to use it because of the way that things scale. So this is the way that I think things scale in Diablo, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Just so people can see why vulnerability is problematic. Base stat times vulnerability times all other conditionals. This is the way that I think that it works. Crit separate too? Fuck, I forgot about that. Well, yeah, of course crit's separate. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Crit is separate as well. But what I'm saying is that, like, vulnerability is effectively a conditional stat, right? Because, like, the condition is vulnerable or not vulnerable. So vulnerability fundamentally should be down here. Like, logically it should be down here. But it's not. So I think vulnerability it's too strong. And because it's too strong, it makes it to where every single item in the game, weapon, has to have this. Does that make sense? They nerfed it with no real substitute. They did add substitutes, but I don't think it's nearly enough. And also, here's the problem. They didn't nerf the equation. They didn't change the equation. They just changed the effectiveness of one variable in the equation. So we still do the same equation. It's just that one variable is a lot worse. But the problem is the formula, not the fact that one of the is like, the problem is that variable in general. So as far as I know, I've looked this up, and I actually haven't looked it up. I've seen people talking about it already today. I was reading it in bed. Everybody's saying that vulnerability is still the best stat. Am I wrong? You still need it. It's still the best stat. So effectively, they didn't even solve the problem. It's just harder to stack, yeah. Crit is better, but yeah, it's good. I mean, still. I mean, like, you're going to need that as well. Sorcerers only really had to get vulnerability to get even close to acceptable numbers, though. That's why the nerf killed them off. I don't mind nerfing vulnerability and crit. I like crit because crit is big numbers, and I like big numbers. That's it. Yeah, I think big numbers are cool. I like doing critical attacks. And they do a lot of damage. That's very cool. But defenses and CDR with the damage nerfs is overkill. The problem isn't vulnerability. Let me read what people said. Fact that doing decent damage relies on it. You are exactly right. You are 100% right. And what they did is they nerfed vulnerability, but they didn't effectively nerf vulnerability. They just nerfed the characters. Because if vulnerability is still an S tier stat, and everybody still wants to get it, then you didn't really change the way people play the game. You just made playing the game in the same way that already exists feel worse. So how's it a good change? Very good point. Very good point. I feel like it's a good change in terms of, like, goal, but it just did not achieve the goal. Does that make sense? So, like, I think that vulnerability damage should not be the end-all and be-all of stats. So I'm glad they're nerfing it, but you're right. It wasn't enough, and it wasn't done in the right way. So, yeah. Nerfing items, we've already found, feels very bad. Yeah, but if you didn't do that, then it would be weird, too. They need to remove vulnerability entirely. I don't know. I mean, maybe vulnerability would have been better if it was like a stat that only rogues could have or something like that. I feel like vulnerability sounds like a rogue stat. Like, druids having vulnerability doesn't really, like, it doesn't, like, aesthetically make sense to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is, like, stupid, but, like, that's just the way I see it. So, yeah. Let's see here. And vulnerability damage. Again, vulnerability is too strong. They should have nerfed it either more, or they should have changed the way that the equation for how vulnerability is calculated into damage is done. So let's see here. Disparities in inherent stat affixes can rule some weapons out before the rest of their stats are even rolled. So this is the critical strike damage on swords. This is really nice because I have 2 swords. So now, whenever I was doing... So what they did is they took my damage. So imagine... let's go ahead and just... go ahead and... So let's say this was my damage. Okay, Blizzard did this. They cut it in half. So where previously I was doing this much damage, now I'm only doing this much. Very cool. Wow. Awesome. It's more fun? Yeah, very cool. Let's see here. Damage to crowd-controlled enemies decreased by 30%. Damage to frozen enemies increased by 20%. Damage to crowd-controlled enemies was overperforming relative to the ease of activating it versus stricter crowd control type specific affixes. I wonder if the developers understand that. Like, am I the only person who feels like a lot of these conditional damage affixes aren't fun to do? Like, I don't enjoy them. I don't like them. Yeah, Nyucky? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like them. Like, I don't like the... Like, close damage, injured damage, healthy damage, distant damage, damage while bleeding. Like, I wish none of these things were in the game. I don't think they make the game, like, better at all. They're just, like, number go up, stats for the sake of being stats. I don't know, like, I don't like them. I think they're boring. Yeah, it's a lame attempt at depth. Yeah, exactly. We've seen that skillful players are frequently slaughtering monsters many levels above their own. We still want to support this. Current situation is beyond what we believe is correct for the long-term health of the game. To chase the skull, we're shifting power to many offensive affixes from defensive affixes, make our in-game content more deadly, specifically for those chasing our pinnacle boss. An encounter not meant for the faint of heart. I mean, it's just, like... is it really, like... I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, having a boss that just... Having a boss with hard-to-understand hitboxes on abilities that kill you in one hit... I don't know. It doesn't really seem super exciting to me, but okay. Great. Overcoming Pinnacle Boss will take every ounce of grit you can muster and all the tools at your disposal. Yeah, unless you play a Necromancer, it just one-shots her. True. Let's see here. Physical damage. So, wait a second. So, all of these stats are all increased. Like, fire damage got increased by 25%. And then, okay, so these are just all of, like, these, damage with ranged weapons. Damage with skills that swap to new weapons. This is such a, like... Just delete this. This is so stupid. Damage with two-handed slashing. Damage with two-handed bludgeoning. Just delete. Get this the fuck out of here. Like, it just feels stupid. It feels fucking stupid. Like, It's artificially inflated. Yes, what is this? It's redundant. All additive damage? Yeah, this is all additive damage. Boring, stale garbage. Yes. Let's see here. Imbued skill damage. Okay, so then now we're going to talk about total armor. So total armor is a stat that makes you take less damage, and now it's been reduced by 30%. So if you had a whole shield, now you have 70% of a shield. And let's see here. Total armor in werebear and werewolf form. I guess this is obviously damage reduction from close enemies reduced by 20%. Damage reduction from distant enemies reduced by 20%. Damage reduction from enemies that are bleeding, burning, poisoned. Shadow damage over time. Damage reduction while fortified, all reduced. So what they did here is they just tried to make everything do more damage. Like basically every single stat that I had, like all of these things here, just got massively fucking nerfed. So there we go. Awesome. They want you to feel stronger without while feeling weaker. Yeah. Adam Fletcher tweet. We've been hearing feedback from players regarding some of the changes of 1.1. Guys, if anybody was wondering if they were stealing ideas from Lost Ark, now I don't think we need to wonder anymore. If the developers had any balls at all, they would begin to stream in a white room with 3 of them in front of laptops. Exactly the way they did the Lost Ark stream. Yeah, if they had any fucking... any integrity. 3 bozos, yes. Have it be like Joe Shelley, Joseph Piora, and fucking Rod Ferguson. All sitting there at the beginning, just... Well, here we are. And just, yeah, never refer to it or say anything like that. And apologize, yeah. And spend the whole time saying you're sorry. Exactly. Oh, God. So, let's see here. And, a Blue Protocol apology, BP? Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, BP. From an oil spill, yeah. How many apology streams does this deserve? I don't know. I think that we'll look at the... Well, let's see what happens with the first emergency live stream, and then we'll see if they need a second one. Yeah, I think that's it. Discussing the Malignant Hearts. Barb has the worst ones. Oh, I'm not going to play Barbarian anymore. I'm done. Yeah, I'm not going to play it again. Because I was going to play Thorns, but there's just too many nerfs to Thorns. All of these are like massive nerfs to Thorns. Because, like, Thorns requires you to be able to take damage, and so, like, I'm getting nerfed by, like, 150% here. So, yeah, you can't tank. Yeah, so fuck it. Like, why would I... Yeah, I'm gonna play either Necro or... And also, like... Is injured damage not on the list? It's not, is it? That's really disappointing. Injured damage is, like, the stupidest stat. Because have you guys seen the builds where, like, people stay at, like, 30% health to maximize injured damage reduction? That's so fucking stupid. Like, it's such a stupid way of playing the game. Like, why is that even possible? Yeah, they'll open the stream by apologizing for forgetting injured damage and then nerf that too. Yeah, true. New Uber boss at level 80. That's actually a really good idea, and I'm glad they did that. A level 80 Uber boss is actually, like, a... That's good. Like, that's one of the things that they should have had on release, and that's good. Good move. Yep. I love the notes are just unceremoniously. Yeah, they just unceremoniously end. Yeah, exactly. And let's see here. We will look at the way that these changes have been received. Sorcerers, as I said before, are especially unhappy with basically everything. Like, they're unhappy with, like, the whole game. Yeah. I plan to boycott the shitty itemization and nerf to Sork as a former Bard player by playing Rogue and naming myself Rotzel. I mean, I think that really... It's just like... Let's look and see what we got here. Alright, let's read some of the posts that people have. Patch 1.1 is essentially a slowdown to every part of the game. And this is a 10k updated, excuse me, 12k updated thread. All classes are nerfed. No reduction in enchantment costs. Helltides are slower. Boosting is nerfed. Doing content other than Nightmare Dungeons is nerfed. Experience bonus for killing monsters of higher levels nerfed by 90%. Crit and vulnerable damage now nerfed 17 and 40%. It's not like the game was lightning fast to begin with, but now it's a proper slog. I honestly can't fathom their decision process here. I can. They had a spreadsheet, and they looked at all of the different things that players that were playing the game a lot were using, and the things that people were using a lot, they got rid of them. That's what they did. That's what I think they did. Like, literally somebody who doesn't even play the game, who's never played a Diablo game before, could have made these patch notes. Good for casuals, though? How? Let's see here. They felt bored because they had nothing left to do. Oh, God, what are you doing? Blizzard is not listening to the people that think that there's nothing to do in the game. Oh, my God. These people play the game 200 hours. You play the game every fucking day for 10 hours for a month, and then you complain there's nothing to do? Oh, you fucking kidding me? Sorcerer unique is the only unique with an added negative. Not only is it a pure negative, it removes your ability to precisely position yourself in a game where monsters commonly drop deadly area effects on death. Yep, that's true. I think I'm done. Totally. I feel like I got my money's worth. This is a perfect opportunity to bow out gracefully, let the sweats cry, go play something else, and then maybe come back in 2 years whenever I'm not burnt out from grinding and the game has enough changes to feel fresh again. Played all morning, couldn't wait for the patch. Why did you think? Logged out, patched up, logged back in, tried to run 2 Nightmare Dungeons, noped right out. Had plans to play all night tonight. Looks like I'm finally fixed that sprinkler head in the yard this weekend. Man, that's another dad filtered out of the game. Look at that. After this patch, watching your grass grow might actually be more entertaining. I'm with you. I was hyped for Season 1, too. I picked at Divinity Original Sin. I hit 100 last night, and I think that's a good high point to stop at. Man. Season 1 isn't out yet, though? Well, why would somebody want to level up again whenever the changes aren't fun? Like, because the way the game is playing is basically going to be the way that it's playing in Season 1, right? Like, the changes are the same. Like, yeah, you'll have the Malignant Hearts as well, and, like, you know, how much of a difference is that going to make up? You know, we'll have to see. But, overall, this is the, yeah, this is it. This is the game. Let's see here. Cooldown reduction reduced by 30%. Crit vulnerable. What is this shit? Aspect of disobedience. I think, by the way, the disobedience aspect, like, I think that it is, like, to an extent, I understand the game design goal of whenever 100% of players are using one thing, you probably should reevaluate why they're using that. But the problem is that they solve an issue with one solution just by nerfing it. They don't understand, like, why this is so good, I don't think. And I think that's the issue. Malignant Hearts are online. Yeah, I'll look at it in a minute. And yes, guys, I saw that Blizzard, again, is doing an emergency live stream. Dr. Lupo asks, can you ask the dev team why they hate me so much, as well as all the other sorcerers? Thank you, love the communication. And I do, by the way, I do appreciate the fact that Blizzard, within 1 day of releasing the patch notes, is going to have a stream talking to the player base. This is appreciated. Thank you. It is, you know, look, it shouldn't have happened, but I'm glad at least they're trying to respond to the player base. That's good. It's good at least. Yes, it's good at least. Well, let's hope you listen this time. That's all we can ask. True. I'm in a rare minority here, I guess. I welcome the changes in the challenge. You should have to make strategic choices. And if they didn't make these changes, you would be facing power creep in year 1, like Diablo 3. There are people that make comments like this, and the reason why they make comments like this is because they don't understand the game. So a lot of the changes don't actually affect the way that people are going to be more strategic. It just makes things take longer. Like, in between pulling a pack, standing and waiting for your cooldowns to come up before you pull the next pack is not really the kind of strategic design I was looking for. If you want to have strategic design, make more interesting affixes. Make bosses that have more than one mechanic. Power creep, the hearts don't stay in the game. No, but they should. They probably should, at least. I don't know. In some way, they probably should. Because that's why PoE is a good game. It's because it continues to evolve, and it continues to build on itself. It doesn't just do a patch and then delete everything, then do another patch, then delete everything. That's why PoE is such a robust game. Is because they've actually used that content in the future. So, impossible to redeem my deluxe edition battle pass for season 2 instead of season 1. Yeah, actually, I think you can do this. Brace yourself. The casuals are complaining. Looking forward to the campfire. I think most of the negative feedback is not in the majority. Well, yeah, because most of the feedback is from people that like I don't understand why somebody says they're a casual. I love how, like, I don't think this person realizes this, but, like, the casuals are not the ones that are on Twitter responding to a message that was put out. Like, you think about so think about how many things that you have to be, like, absolutely fucking in tune with. You have to be playing Diablo 4, keeping up with the news, following them on Twitter, looking at all of their updates. You have to have read the update within like 5 hours of it being posted. And then you have to have Adam Fletcher, the community fucking manager, on notifications so you can immediately respond to his fucking tweet. You really think that the people that are doing all of those things are fucking casuals? Absolutely. You gotta be fucking crazy. The casuals don't even know that. They don't even know who Adam Fletcher is. Oh, he's the buff guy that's on the right that asked the questions. Oh, okay. Well, I know. Oh, I've seen him before. They don't even know his name, probably. You know what? They probably don't even know that season 1 is going to happen. They stopped playing 2 weeks ago whenever they beat the campaign with their wife. Yeah, now they're excited for the expansion of Diablo 4. They don't even know about seasons. What do you mean seasons? Well, I've got to level again? I can't do that. I'm busy. Yeah, what is this? It's just, like, it's so delusional. PR talk, all this chat will tell us why you're right and why the players are wrong. No, I actually completely disagree with this guy as well. I really appreciate every type of communication that they provide because it gives us a better frame of reference of where their thinking is. Like, what are you trying to do? What are your goals? How are you trying to achieve them? Okay, I get it. Adam and the devs, vulgarities, I'm not a fan of that. Oh no, I mean, like, listen, like, I think the changes are wrong and I think a lot of them are dumb. But I don't have any ill will towards the developer. I don't hate the developers. I'm not, like, mad at them personally. I just think these changes are stupid. Like, so, I mean, like, yeah, if somebody's too emotional, they can't control themselves and they have to just, like, you know, be a little bitch, then I don't think anybody likes that. Yeah, nobody likes that. It's just crazy. You're right, casuals play games. They do. Yeah, they're not paying attention to all these changes. Thanks, Adam. My 2 cents. A lot of the blowback may have been avoided with the PTR. At least a lot of chance to be explained. Yeah, I think a PTR in the future might be nice. Especially, but, like, I don't know. Like, a PTR wouldn't really work because, like, the season effects wouldn't really be in the game. And I don't like the idea of people being able to play the seasonal stuff before the game comes out. That's kind of the problem that WoW has. So, like, maybe not a PTR. I just think they need to do a better job doing changes. Zash, casual player, this makes me not want to play anymore. I'm not a sweaty gamer, and the patch made it so much harder to play. That's true. He's right. Ooh. Yeah, true. True. Man. When's the emergency stream going to be? It is going to be on Friday. And, what time is it again? Let me see. Fuck. It's going to be on Friday. It's some point on Friday, right? So whatever. I'll watch it whenever it comes out. Whose fault? No lifer. Too many doomers, to be honest. I mean, like, you should be thanking the doomers, because if it wasn't for the doomers, you'd probably be playing a much worse game than you are now. I understand that some people like defending a game, and, you know, it's like you spent $70 on it, so you don't want to feel like you wasted your money, but you should be saying thank you to all of these people that are making these posts, because they actually want you to have a better game. And it seems like apparently they're the only ones. So keep making excuses for a bad game, and you'll get a bad game. Case in point. Let's see here. We'll read a few more. Helltide drops got nerfed bad. Apparently this is a bug. This game is going to be really great in 2028 whenever they realize we like to have fun. Yeah, the last season of Diablo 4 will probably be really good, just like Diablo 3. Helltides are already on a timer. Yeah, I think Helltides, unless the boxes have like an astronomically higher chance to drop uber uniques, I have literally no reason to do Helltides at all. Except, no, I have to get them to do my rerolls. Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. Oh, God. Fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. CDNR nerf is mind-boggling. Yeah, I don't understand that either. It's because it's not fun. Fun while it lasted, not long until Baldur's Gate 3, thank God. They even put the 2 extra seconds on teleport out of dungeons. That's a way of making eye contact with you and calmly saying, yes, I truly do hate you. This feels like the most unnecessary thing. I just, like, I think that's, but they buff monster density, so at least it's fun to play, right? Did they buff monster density? I felt like it was the same, but I only did 1 dungeon. Yeah, I think it was the exact same, because I used to do that dungeon a lot. Have you played it yet? Trying to do Helltide, 25 minutes, only made 130 cinders, again a bug. Too many good games 2023 to waste time on Diablo 4 now. Yeah, so people are not happy. Let's read a few more of the posts. New Sork unique is interesting. You can take it to a random location either being Path of Exile or Baldur's Gate. Honestly, I'm deleting the game. I think Blizzard is too far gone. A lot of people, I've seen the point being drawn that, do you remember the incident of 3.18. 3.18 of Path of Exile. Do you remember that incident? So, Path of Exile nerfed basically everything in 3.18. It was 3.15? 3.15 was Expedition? Really? What was 3.18? Was that Arc Nemesis? Fuck, I forgot the numbers. I can't believe I forgot them. Okay, well, anyway, Path of Exile made a massive, massive, massive nerf to, like, almost everything in the game. And they did that because over the years, PoE players got more and more powerful, and the power creep in the game was so high that almost anything could clear the game with, like, really no effort at all. And the game just wasn't really well balanced. And it was too easy, basically. And I remember, because we had Chris Wilson on Allcraft, and I said, I defended those nerfs, and I said, you know what? The game is too fast. Every build I see just clears a screen with one button. This is boring. And I even defended the Arc Nemesis mobs. I thought that they were an improvement over the rares. Now, obviously, this is, you know, like, there's a lot of context behind this, but some people were comparing this to the big PoE nerf patches. I think that is a massive fucking mistake, because that PoE nerf patch came in 3.15, 3.18, and not 1.1. That's the difference. They're nerfing shit in 1.1. That's crazy, man. So, Blizzard used to be about the player experience and providing the best game possible. I think that they are trying too hard to balance the game, and in the process of balancing the game, they are making it less fun. I think that's what's happening. Do you think Blizzard tracks when our people uninstall games on Battle.net? Oh, absolutely they do. This feels exactly whenever Outriders nerf something. I didn't play that game. I'm not really sure. The Delve told us to get excited for this chonker patch. Well, it is a chonker patch. It's just not the chonker we were hoping for. We were hoping for an epic big chungus, and instead of that, we got a big fat wheelbarrow full of dicks. A chunk of shit. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is, boys. Let's see here. Pretty glad. I feel like I got my money's worth out of playing the campaign, putting the game down like a month ago. Yep, there you go. And that's totally fine. Usually strongly dislike the incessant complaining on this subreddit. Yes, the game has flaws. Yes, the balance between classes was atrocious. But I still had fun with my non-meta builds. I just really wish that people like this weren't so outspoken about, like, complaining. Because, like, complaining is, like, one thing, but it's, I mean, something's either true or it's not, right? With a lot of things. Like, every class having to stack vulnerability, and vulnerability being a conditional that, like, determines, like, 50% or 80% of your damage. Like, I feel like that's kind of, it's kind of like a fact, right? I mean, it's not like an opinion, really. Like, everybody does this. So it's constructive criticism. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not a fan of, like, the whole, oh, Diablo 4 is bad. Like, I've defended Diablo 4 a lot. And I still don't hate the game. But I just think that these things in the game are not very good. There you go. Not very good. Some class builds can't even proc vulnerable. Yeah, I think some can, but the majority of good ones can. Not a good direction. Yep, not a good direction. The game had a solid foundation. That's what I've said many times. I just don't understand why they want to make this game more of a chore. Who approves of these changes? Bone Spear is fucking dead in group play. They nerfed our ability. They should have nerfed Bone Spear. Actually, I don't really know. I don't think they maybe shouldn't have nerfed it that much. I'm pretty sure Bone Spear is still really good, right? But I just think they should have buffed other things for Necromancer. Sadly, I doubt enough people will stop playing to make a difference, but I will be joining you. I think the main thing that you can do is just, you know, either stop playing or just, you know, wait until they make changes that you want and then play again. Because, like, that's really the only thing you can do whenever you're in a situation like this. This isn't even balancing. You nailed it. It's spreadsheet tinkering, which works if you don't have glaring balance issues in the game like resistant vulnerability. You can't fine-tune something broken as fuck. Yeah. Man. What I don't get is people complaining about Vulns, CDR, crit nerfs. That's literally what you guys asked for. Well, yes and no. So, like, for example, if you say you're thirsty and then somebody throws you in a pool, are you happy? Probably not. If you say you're cold and then somebody lights you on fire, are you happy? Probably not. It's not about whether the changes were made. It's about the degree in which they were made and the effect that that degree will have on the game. Vulnerability is still an S tier stat that you should look for on every weapon. That's my understanding. And that's what everybody is, at least for now, in consensus of. That vulnerability is still the best stat. Or at least one of the best stats. So, what changed? Because people were complaining about the way they play the game. They weren't complaining about the game. They were complaining about the way that they played it. So what does that mean? That means that if you don't change the way that they play the game functionally, the change might as well have not happened. Truly lost me as a customer, level 61 sorcerer, and I will not be leveling to 100 with the little time I have for academic. Waste of $70. They will never have me pay again. Hopefully they'll improve the game so you can enjoy it again, man. That sucks. Why do they nerf defenses when they nerf vulnerability and crit? Because they want you to die more. That's why. Yeah, it's kind of simple, right? Sadly, I think enough people, okay, devs are so out of touch, can't even stomach watching their smug asses on dev streams. I think that's the only thing that's interesting. Personally, I don't mind that at all. The people are simply delusional. I think Blizzard will actually fix some of the countless things that are broken in the game. All they care about is how to maximize revenue from the in-game shop. Well, I mean, you can't get people to use the in-game shop if they're not in the game. Keep that in mind. I don't know. I've talked about this a lot. I think that I've pretty much made my point. A lot of people are unhappy about this. Spam Nightmare Dungeons alone and your favorite build was nerfed. I do think that Nightmare Dungeons should be... I think Nightmare Dungeons should be the best place for experience because they're the hardest content in the game. But they shouldn't be the only place for experience. And the disparity between Nightmare Dungeons and outdoor content was, like, I think okay before. And now it's just, like, not even close. Like, there's no reason to even do it. You gonna look at the hearts? Yeah, look at the hearts. Moon and hearts. Okay, here we go. The picnic. Critical strikes electrically charge the enemy, causing lightning to arc between them and other charged enemies, dealing 68 to 136 lightning damage. I think this is cool. I like that. Every 5 seconds while above 60% life. Core skills cost life instead of primary resource. Skills that consume life deal 10 to 20% increased damage. Zoom in, sure. I actually like this too. I think this is really cool. You gain 40 per 60% critical strike damage, but your non-critical strikes deal 20 to 15% less damage. I like this too. This is really cool. Gain 10% barrier generation. Heal for 37 life while you have an active barrier. That sounds really boring. I don't like this. 10 to 20% of incoming damage is instead suppressed. When you use the defensive, all suppressed damage is amplified by 250% and explodes, dealing damage. That's really cool. Yeah, I think this is cool. Yeah, this is a Thorns build. Yeah, this is crazy. That's actually really awesome. I like this a lot. Prudent Heart, you become immune for 2 to 4 seconds after you lose more than 20% of life in a single hit. That's nice, except for you know, now since all the armor nerfs everything. Well, what if you lose 100% of your life in a single hit? What happens then? So next we got this one here, Determination. Resource draining effects are 50 to 60% less effective. Gain increased resource generation. I think this is, I really actually don't like this one that much. The reason why I don't like it is because I feel like it's a it's too situational. For Whirlwind, I don't really think it's going to matter for Whirlwind. Like, you already overcap with resource gen on other things already. Yeah, it's too situational. Dealing 500 to 600 damage surrounding enemies whenever you crowd control an effect is removed from you. I guess this is kind of good too, because obviously, like, with defensive, like, this plus revenge is also, like, really, really good, because if you're playing Thorns or something like that, you could activate both of them at the same time. After spending 200, 150, 200 of your primary resource, next attack stuns enemies hit for 2 seconds. I guess that's okay. Malignant Pact, and these are the super ones. Cycle through a malignant bonus every 20 kills. 20% attack speed. Core skills have a 15% chance to restore your primary resource. Every 21 seconds, gain a barrier, absorbing damage. Like, I could see a lot of build. Like, this is okay. I guess the cycling is terrible. I actually don't mind the cycling. But I think we'll have to wait and see how this plays. Yeah, I'm actually not super negative about this. Creeping Death, your damage over time effects are increased by 30 to 40%. Each different crowd control effect is on the target. Unstoppable monsters take 130%. What the fuck? Damage from your damage over time effects. That's insane. Wow. Okay. Creeping Death. Critical strikes and all subsequent damage between 2 to 4 seconds is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. Stored damage is increased by 10% per second. I think this is cool. I'd have to see the way it plays. But I think this is cool. They want dots, yeah. Yeah, you basically want to group everything up. Okay, so this is Barbarian. After spending 100 to 60 Fury, your next non-basic skill's critical strike chance is increased. That's it? While below 46%, you receive 50 to 60% more healing. What? Healed. Punishing speed. Your skills have a chance, 20% chance to knock down all enemies. 1.5 seconds when that skill's attack speed. So my skills have a chance to do a knockdown whenever my attack speed is above 30 to 20. Ignoring pain. Incoming damage has a 5 to 15% chance of being ignored and instead healing you. I mean, these two synergize really well with an injured build, right? With a damage reduction while injured build. To be fair, they do synergize extremely well. Yeah, I can't wait to QA test this soon. Yeah. Okay, let's go next. The Moon Rage kills a 5% chance to summon a wolf companion by your side. In addition, gain +3 to wolves. This is stupid. They should make it infinite. Like, you should be able to summon 100 wolves. Like, if you kill enough mobs, you should be able to summon as many wolves as you want. Only 3? That's it? That's nothing. Yeah, the wolf pack. Yeah, you want to build your wolf pack. More minions and Necromancer. Yep, there you go. 8 to 13. Whenever there are 8 to 13 close enemies, automatically class Cyclone Armor. Oh, wow. Up to 30 to 50 distant enemies are pulled towards you while you have an ultimate skill active. Okay. Why not just have everything get pulled in? +3 is to the skill tree. Oh, I thought you meant +3 to maximum amount of wolves that can be active. Okay, that could be different. And when you're hit, stun freeze is a 46% chance to activate Grizzly Rage for 3 seconds. Okay, I guess this is probably a CC immunity. 10 conditions for each ability. Yeah. The Necromancer. Okay. All right, guys. This is where we're going to get the crazy minion stuff. Here we go. Walking near a corpse automatically activates an equipped corpse skill every second, dealing 40 to 30% reduced damage. Auto bomber? But it's not. I don't know if this is good or not. I really don't. Like, I think we should have to play this and see for ourselves. That sounds good. It does, but there's a damage reduction. Like a 30% damage reduction is a lot. And also, like, you have to keep in mind, walking, Necromancer is the least mobile class in the game. And it's also extremely squishy. And where are the corpses going to be? Well, next to the other monsters. So, like, I think functionally it might not work. Tendrils, though? Terrible. Tendrils not for damage anyway. All right, we'll see what happens. When at least 5 enemies are near you, you gain an aura that automatically curses surrounding enemies with Decrepify. I think this is kind of good. What do you guys think? Seems good? Yeah, I think that's decent. Up to a 10 to 20% chance of inflicting fear for 2.5 seconds. Feared enemies are chilled for 20% every second. Kind of boring, I think, but okay. The Great Feast. Each minion drains 1 to 2 essence per second, but deals 50 to 75% increased damage. With no minions, this bonus applies to you and drains 5 essence per second. So what happens if you run out of essence, though? You go back to base damage? This could be good for some minion builds that basically don't use essence. Yeah. Can you cast without resources? You can cast some abilities without resources, yes. It turns off for the corpse explosion, generating essence, plus minion builds use Iron Maiden, which generates essence as well. I could see this being very good. I just don't know. Let's see here. Rogue. Chance to 20% stun 3 grenades when you stun enemies for 50 seconds. Again, guys, you guys are going to have to let me know what you think about these. I don't really play Rogue at all, so I don't have a lot of insight into this. Is Rogue good or bad? When you use Subterfuge skill, leave behind an unstable shadow decoy that taunts enemies. Shadow decoy trap will explode after 6 seconds, dealing damage. I don't know if that's good or not. I mean, is that good? I really have no idea. Sorry, gentlemen. I don't really play Rogue at all. 20-40% chance of your cutthroat skills to slow by 40%. Your attacks have 5-15% chance to apply all imbuement effects at 40-50% of normal potency. Is this good? Everybody says it's good. All right. Awesome. Good for you guys. Yep. Good for you guys. Great. Happy for you. All right. Let's look at Sorcerer. For each unique element you deal damage with, you deal 7 to 12% increased damage for 3 to 10 seconds. Dude, do you guys remember the Tal Rasha 6-piece in Reaper of Souls? And how it would, like, call down meteors and shit? Like, why don't they just make that happen again? Dude, that was awesome. Remember that? That was so fucking fun. Like, I would just add that back. Diablo 3 Tal Rasha was dope. Dude, whenever I finally got my 6-piece, I was so happy. After taking elemental damage, gain 40. Why would you add? I don't understand the logic. Why would you add? But why would? They admit that resistances are broken, and they're fixing them in Season 2, but they're adding something into the game that goes away before Season 2 even comes out. I don't understand. What's the logic here? This is crazy. Whenever you're affected by a crowd control effect, there's a 20 to 40% chance the same enemy and enemies surrounding you will also be affected by that effect. That's kind of interesting. This should be a baseline and not a sorcerer-only one. Core skills that launch a projectile consume all of your mana for the next 30 to 45% mana. You launch an additional projectile and the damage is increased. This is kind of like Archmage in PoE. I kind of like this. I'm going to be honest. I think this is kind of cool. Am I crazy? I think it's kind of cool. They don't even know resistances are broken. Yeah. Yeah, probably true. 3 to 5%. Well, no. But the additional projectile. It's like a baseline damage, and then it's an additional. So it's like pretty much the same amount. It should be core and mastery, so it can include meteor. Sure. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But I just think that this idea is kind of cool. Losing all your mana for that is bad. I'm trying to remember what it was like whenever I played Sork. Because I only played it in the beta. Because, like, I like the idea of this. Am I stupid? Like, I like the idea of, you know, you spend all of your mana on one super powerful spell. But, like, if the downtime is too high, then maybe it sucks. Because, like, I think it sounds cool. I don't know. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. We'll have to see. Let's see here. Which class will you play on season release? Necromancer. I should just always play Necromancer. I remember, you know, like, the guy that runs the game plays a Necromancer, so they probably won't be that bad, right? Sounds good with Chain Lightning that refunds a bunch of mana. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking of it in context of. So yeah, anyway, guys, these are the Malignant Hearts. This is the reveal for Season 1. Overall, I think that there are more L's than W's. I can understand the logic that Blizzard has with a lot of these changes. However, I don't think it's a surprise that a lot of people are very unhappy with the new season. And overall, I think that these changes do not actually fix the problems the game has. They just make every class worse while still having to adhere to the same problems that already existed, like vulnerability. I think vulnerability is bad. I think that vulnerability is too strong and it shouldn't be treated as powerfully as it is. But Blizzard went about solving that problem by maintaining its relative position in the food chain of abilities, while just nerfing it. So instead of it being like, you know, here's everything else, and here's vulnerability, but it used to be up here, but even though it's down here, it's still better than these. So it doesn't actually affect your gameplay at all. You still have to stack vulnerability, you still get it, it's still the best stat, it doesn't change anything. Also, nerfing every single defensive ability, I don't know if after looking at these Malignant bonuses, they're gonna be able to make up for that. And personally, I don't think so. I'm going to try the game. I think I'm going to play a Necromancer minion build. And if it doesn't work, fuck them. Fuck them. That's what. Asmon, you lose 750 armor via the heart slots. I thought that the heart slots didn't, I thought they didn't cannibalize existing gem slots. I thought I read that somewhere. They do? Huh. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Great. Awesome. Can't wait for the emergency live stream. I'm sure that'll fix it.